Hi there, this is Ahlem from Pop Goes the Music. I hope you're taking good care of yourself in these seemingly never-ending difficult times. I'm here to welcome you to our third episode of chillCHAT, a series of chill chats with incredible artists. This one is all about EASHA, a hopefully up-and-coming singer-songwriter based in New Jersey in the United States. When we met a few weeks ago, she was 19 years old, now she's 20. Happy belated birthday to her. In December 2020, she went viral on TikTok and Instagram with one of her songs, and ever since she's had a growing number of fans. In January 2021, she released her first record, Fact of the Fiction, a collection of 4 songs, one of which she performs for us later on, so stay tuned for that. EASHA and I talked about her music, how it all started, and how it's going, with a hint to the future. Goes the music. You released your very first record, an EP. How are you feeling about it?
I'm super excited. This is my first project that I've really put available to stream, and I feel like finally there was like a demand for some songs, because especially as a musician, a lot of times you feel like you're shouting into the void and just forcing people to listen to music. So it's really refreshing when people want to hear your songs and you're able to actually share them. It's the fun part right now, where I don't have to stress about, recording and like getting it done.
And how did it come together?
I basically did this all in quarantine because my first song that I put out, Dying is a Beautiful Thing to Do, did really unexpectedly well.
Can we hit 100,000 streams before 2020 ends?
That was
my year.
When did I put out Dying is a Beautiful Thing to Do? Like end of December. And then 3 new songs I recorded and released within the same month. All in my bedroom, and I'm using the same mic that I used to record it and everything, so.
And Dying is a Beautiful Thing came together thanks to TikTok, because it was inspired by a video that, like, what happened? Tell me the story.
It was inspired by this comment this girl got on her TikTok, which said, "You're the kind of girl that people write songs about."
Thank you.
And I just thought, first of all, like, what a great compliment. I feel like every girl wants to hear that, and it's just like so all-encompassing of like the type of person you want to be. So I was like, I need to use that as a line in a song. And in general, I feel like I get very inspired by TikToks and social media for a lot of my lyrics and a lot of my like ideas, because it's really pertinent to people my age. And I think people resonated with that.
I did a thing.
'Cause I'm the kind of girl that you write songs about. Mystery you can't get out your head.
That song was very it was amplified by social media, because first of all, it blew up on TikTok, and more than that, it blew up on Instagram Reels, which was like a relatively new thing. So I was like blown away by how many people liked it and commented and wanted to hear the whole thing. And the funny thing is, I actually recorded the whole thing before I posted the TikTok, and I was planning to put it out anyway, because I was like, oh, let me just put a song out that I really love and have it, just in case people want to hear music. And the timing was perfect because people were like, oh my gosh, you have to release this. And I'm like, wait, I actually am. Like, go listen to it.
In reference to you, if nothing else, cannot be your regret years from now.
And so the Fact of Fiction, so it's all fiction.
Yeah, so Fact of the Fiction is a line in Dying is a Beautiful Thing to Do. It's like, I bleed on paper so the fact of the fiction is alive when I'm gone. And the whole concept was, I built this EP around Dying is a Beautiful Thing to Do so it could be like this cohesive storytelling arc. And the idea is, in Dying is a Beautiful Thing to Do, they're so enamored and so in love that, there's like this rosy hue over everything, and you're just accepting all the good parts about the relationship. And Fact of the Fiction I thought was such a good name, because it kind of goes through all the stages of, yes, romanticizing romance, but also slowly realizing the hardships and eventually having to break away from that and realizing that, you know, love is so complicated and you can't really like have it as an objective topic. There's so many parts to it.
And before that, you released I Can't Breathe, and it's really rooted in reality. How did it feel writing something like that that's so personal, and then writing something that's just fiction and ideas and ideals, maybe?
Yeah, so I mean, I Can't Breathe was in the midst of Black Lives Matter and George Floyd when all that protesting was happening. And as a musician, a lot of times you write for fun, and that one was very much, like you said, real and just a way for me to process what was happening and how I felt about it, because I knew, I was like, I don't like, I'm not the type of person to like not say anything about it, but at the same time I had to do it in a way that made sense to me, and it like resonated with so many people. And I think it's because it was very like raw and just like, you know, what I felt and put out in the moment. And the reason I put it on Spotify was because people were asking for like, you know, like to have it on streaming platforms. And yeah, no, that one is definitely in a different league of musicianship. Like, it's not necessarily me as an artist, but like me as a person, just what I care about and what I wanted to like share.
How do I speak when I can't breathe? I can't. How do I stand when I can't breathe? I can't. All my life I had to lose just a name in the news. But what about me? I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
And you said you started making music early on. When was that moment for you where you were like more than just listening to music and having fun, enjoying listening to music?
Yeah, I learned Indian classical music growing up because my mom, she knows Indian classical music. She teaches it. So just by like osmosis, I was like, I always grew up kind of wanting to do American music, or kind of resenting Indian classical music because I'm like, it's not as fun. Obviously now I've learned to appreciate it and kind of have both of those sides. So when I was 12, I would say, was when I wrote my first song, and it was euphoric. Just the idea of having your own song. Like, I would just sing it over and over and over and over again. And I'm still 19 now, and it's still the same excitement and the same process, really. So I'd say like 7 years, yeah.
And when did you begin getting your own music out there? Because I saw on YouTube a few years ago, 5 years ago maybe, you posted covers, and then lately you started posting your new stuff. But did you try it otherwise? And where does TikTok factor in?
Yeah, so I would always do covers and originals on YouTube and Instagram, and I just privated a lot of original songs because I'm actually planning on like releasing them. So I want to make sure like the actual versions are out there when they are. But it wasn't until recently that I really took a strategy and like a look at social media where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to focus on this. And TikTok was insane because I would just scroll as a consumer perspective and see people who I'd never seen before with millions of views, especially musicians, who would pop off. And there's this one girl, like Georgia, I think she's like 17, and she had one like her debut single like on the iTunes charts, and she like didn't have I don't think she has a label or anything like that. That was my light bulb moment where I was like, this is it, like this is what I have to do. It's relatively new and I have nothing to lose. So I did this challenge where I was like, okay, day 1 of posting original music till it blows up. Like day 2 of posting original music till it blows up. It took me 31 days exactly, like literally a month exactly, until some of my songs started to get a lot of traction. And the best thing about it was because there were people that were following me from like a certain day, they knew like every single day, like, okay, Isha's gonna post a song. Like, I wonder what song. So I started to see this fan base like actually build and become something bigger than I originally anticipated. So yeah, TikTok is great. I think it's just the best platform for like independent musicians to really find a niche and find their people.
And so you're 19 years old, you're at school. I saw you complain about having homework in a global pandemic.
Oh gosh.
How does it feel to be living in this time as, you know, a 19-year-old who's a student who's also doing music, and like how are you?
It's yeah, it's a lot. Honestly, I rant on my like Instagram stories, so I don't expect people to take me too seriously, but I feel like first of all, being a student in school is already like very like when you're doing music, being a student seems very secondary, which is almost counterintuitive to a lot of people because a lot of people feel like, oh, like you're a student or you work and then you do music on the side. But for me and a lot of other musicians, it's like the total opposite. Like music is your life and school and work is like sources of inspiration, if anything. So I love school, I love learning, and I'm really grateful I get to go to college. Online is tough because first of all, you're like at home with your parents, and this is the time in your life when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be independent and move out and like get a life of my own, and it's like, not happening. But I'm kind of navigating it with everyone else. It definitely helps that I'm not the only one going through it, that it's like this generational struggle, and I feel like teachers are starting to be like more understanding of it, but more than even like a homework toll, it just takes a very big emotional toll on you in terms of like you can't make friends and you can't have those memories that you were promised are supposed to be like the best years of your life. So it just, I don't know, you just get really angsty about it, which I am definitely getting.
So you think you're gonna continue on with your studies and have music and then eventually focus on music, or are you really in this path of I want to be a musician, I want to do it full time, and where do you situate yourself?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, honestly, music is the end goal and like the thing I will be doing. So like whether I'm in school, whether I'm out of school, like it's just there, it's just my life. But I like being in school. I like having that environment. Like I said, it's like a source of inspiration, right? So it's
Right.
tough because when you get out of everything and just have this idea that I'm just going to do music and like nothing else and have no other life besides this, it almost makes your music worse because it becomes very meta and very like in your head versus a natural progression of events and like relating to other people. You know, like I feel like, especially the people that follow me who are my age, I feel like less preachy and less like, oh, like listen to my music, I know what you're feeling. It's generally like, oh my god, these people are my friends, like we're all going through the same thing, and I can write songs that we can all relate to, which is great.
And how does your family feel about all of this?
They are very excited. Obviously, I think my parents growing up, I always knew I wanted to do music. They were very skeptical because, you know, first of all, like culturally, it's not as common for like Indian girls to like, you know, do pop music because you just see like you never see any Indian girls in the media and stuff like that. And then also parents just want you to have like a secure life in general. So I think now that things are working and I'm trying out different avenues and really putting my heart and like time into it and releasing music that people like, they're starting to get a different experience that they never knew was possible. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of security and everything like that, I think they also do it because it's what they know, it's what they're comfortable with. And so now it's something different and it's something that they never expected to even enter the realm of in terms of like music business and stuff like that. So we're learning together, but they're definitely very supportive and, you know, always there for me.
What radio is this? REC radio. Yay, Isha, your song on radio.
And what's the goal end for you, like to become a musician? But what do you expect? What do you hope for from the next few years?
Well, my end goal is definitely to be heard by as many people as possible and kind of build this community based on songs that I love and messages that I want, that I feel like people need to hear, that I wanted to hear. So, you know, the whole shebang, so like radio, Grammys, like world tours when Miss Corona is over. I'm dreaming big, but I think that step by step, like, you can do it. Anyone can, really.
And do you think you're going to take the road of getting signed and the traditional way, if I may say, or you're going to go into it with like an independent way?
Honestly, I have always seen my idols in that traditional path of like being signed and having that, you know, that team around them. I feel like nowadays you can't even tell what is the next thing going to be, especially with TikTok and with independent artists just doing so well. Right now, I'm like, honestly, I want to be independent as long as I can until it becomes literally like unmanageable. And then we'll go and see who can help, who can like expand, and, you know, taking it day by day. And I feel like not putting too much pressure around this one set path. Like, just focus on the music and everything else falls into place, really.
If you're wondering about EASHA's next releases, she has a new song coming out tomorrow, March 19th, titled Far Away, and it is in itself a departure from her usual acoustic sound, so check that out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to help us out, like it, share it on social media, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and if you don't want to miss out on anything from Pop Goes the Music, you can register for our newsletter. I'll put the link in the description down below. Once you're on the list, you'll receive an email whenever there is new content up on our website, and we might send you some little exclusive surprises from time to time. Thank you so much once again. Much thanks to our guest for her time and for the music. Now, as promised, I'll leave you with a performance by EASHA herself. This is I Don't Like You from her first EP, Fact of the Fiction. Enjoy.
I don't like you and you're drinking. Never a word, blame it on stress. I don't like you and you're angry. Brushing it off, I clean the mess. I'm holding a version of us that might return. We were good and I'm scared I'll miss it if I run. Once in a while we're smiling but crying is assured. Baby, I will always love you. I just don't like you anymore. I don't like me in the mirror, trying to crack your code this time. I don't like me in the party, wishing you were there by my side. I'm holding a version of us that might return. We were good and I'm scared I'll miss it if I run. Once in a while we're smiling but crying is assured. Baby, I will always love you. I just don't like you anymore. People change. I know, I know, I know. We used to be so close, but people change. I'm holding a version of us that won't return. We were good and I'm scared I'll miss it if I run. Once in a while we're smiling but crying is assured. Baby, I will always love you. I just don't like you. I'm holding a version of us that won't return. We were good, and I'm scared I'll miss it if I run. Once in a while we're smiling, but crying is assured. Baby, I will always love you. I just don't like you anymore.
Thank you so much for having me on Chill
just
Chat
don't
by
like
Pop
you
Goes the Music.
anymore.
Again, my name is EASHA. I have music on all streaming platforms, and I will be releasing more music this year. You can find me on all social medias at EASHA Music. And I had so much fun talking to you, and thank you so much for having me. Like, this is great.